Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KMA News. I'm Amanda Valier, and today we have a lot of news for you regarding global warming. First off, we have Sally Colt from the Kapuskasing District High School explaining why this season has been tremendously affected. Sally?
Thank you, Amanda. I am Sally Colt, and I am currently standing outside the Kapuskasing District High School, where the students were excited but disappointed last week when they had their first snow day on January 11th. Would you believe me that usually at this time of year we have mountains of snow, but this just hit last week? I don't think so. A green Christmas, no winter activities, one snow day. What is this global warming? That's a question I leave for the viewers. Back to you, Amanda.
Thank you, Sally, for sharing that. I hope we all take this into consideration. Small changes do make a big difference. Next, we have Professor Lynn Fryer from Excalibur University to introduce global warming.
Thank you, Amanda. A lot of people are unaware of the major effects that global warming has on the planet. In my opinion, people should be more informed about this topic. So today I've prepared a few alarming facts about how global warming affects our planet. First off, the definition of global warming is an increase in the Earth's average temperature. This increase is very gradual and leads to many people not being as alarmed as they should be. Also, there is more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than in the last 800,000 years. This harmful substance is one of the major contributors to global warming. Finally, Greenland's ice contains about 20% of the Earth's fresh water. If it continues to be destroyed and all the ice has melted, the sea levels will rise by nearly 7 meters, adding to the fact that they have already rose 8 inches since 1870. People really need to become more aware of what we are doing to our planet, or it will be too late to do anything about it.
Thank you so much for those interesting facts, Lynn. Coming up, we'll have some more news regarding a recent survey and some shocking facts that will change the way you look at the world.
Are you someone who likes someone else's junk? Then we've got the stuff for you! A crushed water bottle? We've got it! A used tissue? We've got it! A half-used hand sanitizer bottle? To go with that dirty Kleenex? We've got it! A rusty fishing hook? We've got it! A used scuba diving set? We've got it! Michael Jackson's glove? We've got it all! Do any of these items interest you? If so, come on down to the dump where we've got the stuff for you. Or call 705-HOARDER.
Welcome back to KMA News. I am Amanda, and we are going to welcome Megan Rusi to share some shocking results from a global warming survey that was conducted at the Kapuskasing District High School. Megan?
Thank you, Amanda. The goal of this survey was to discover the importance of global warming in our daily lives and how we would be willing to adapt to change. 20 people ranged from grades 9 to 12, as well as some teachers, were surveyed. 100% of these people agreed that global warming is caused by humans and human activities. Meanwhile, 80% say that humans are able to change, but are not willing to change.
Wow, so you're saying that people realize their actions and what the effects are, but don't want to do anything about it?
That's right, Amanda. It's sad to say that people are not willing to adapt to change. Just look at this next statistic. 95% of people agreed that humans themselves should be doing more about global warming. Only one person disagreed. Out of all that answered this, how many changes are actually being completed every day?
And we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Megan. And I hope all the viewers take this into consideration. And maybe next week's segment, we can share the new results and maybe more positive ones. Now we have Kendra Cove, who will share a video of her interview with us.
Thank you, Amanda. I've recently interviewed 3 people to ask them a series of questions regarding global warming. I have put together a quick video to summarize these interviews.
What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about global warming?
Changes in temperature, flooding, storms that are probably more intense, the ice caps melting, populations of animals having difficulties in different areas.
When you think of global warming?
First thing that comes to my mind, global warming, icebergs melting, lots of water, hot, and that's about it.
Global warming.
Climate change is probably the main thing. Changing the seasons, melting the ice caps, all that kind of stuff.
How is global warming affecting you and where you live?
To get things like ice in the air and that kind of thing, and really cold temperatures and upwards of -50 even some winters, and I haven't seen that in quite a few years. So yes, I do think it's making a difference. And they say even with agriculture that we can grow a lot more things now here that we couldn't grow before. The season's a little bit longer and that kind of thing. So yes, I do think it's having an impact here.
Well, I think if we use this winter as the example, look what happened. We're mid-January and some of the lakes aren't frozen over, the river isn't frozen over. We barely had any snow until this weekend. So I think that might be an example of how climate is changing around here.
You and where you live?
Yeah, well, we noticed it, especially this year, like the seasons are different. We had or it seemed like our winter came a lot later, so it does affect us a lot. I have an outdoor ring that I thought was going to be ready in November, and I just got it ready now, so.
What would you say if we told you that there was an invention that could stop CO2 emissions from cars?
I'd say that's a really great idea. Well, my second question would be how much does it cost? Because I think that while those ideas are really good, I think selling them to the public is a little more difficult when cost is figured in because nobody wants to pay more for their car.
I think that's a great idea because it would help our environment. Thinking green, Mr. Swain would probably be happy.
That would be great. I think it would be really good, especially because that's what most people have. Not a lot of people are going into like electric vehicles and all that, especially in the north. So it would be really good, and Mr. Swain would probably be like it.
Thank you, Kendra, for sharing. Coming up next, we have an exciting new broadcast and an introduction to a product that will potentially help eliminate carbon dioxide emissions. Tune in to learn more, coming up after the break.
In a world where there are no CO2 emissions, the sun will shine bright, the world will turn right, the grass will be greener, and the air will be cleaner. Two scientists fight against the odds to prove they can make a difference. Dr. Jordan Banks and Dr. Sophie Moore. Can they beat the odds? Tune in to find out.
Welcome back to KMA News. I'm Amanda Valier, and after seeing that exciting new product, we are now ready to welcome Dr. Sophie Moore and Dr. Jordan Banks for a pre-recorded demonstration of their invention.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sophie Moore.
And I'm Dr. Jordan Banks.
And today we'll be explaining the process that converts carbon dioxide, which is CO2, into sodium bicarbonate, which is also known as baking soda.
What is actually occurring is a neutralization reaction, where the CO2, carbon dioxide, is mixing with NaOH, sodium hydroxide.
What you will be pouring in this beaker is the sodium hydroxide that will be in an enclosed tank that is in the car, which is also right here on the diagram. She will also be adding 2 drops of phenolphthalein, which is going to turn the base, which is the sodium hydroxide, into a bright pink color. What Dr. Banks will be doing is using the CO2 that is converted from her lungs when she exhales into the solution that we just added from the beaker. So as the CO2 is added to the liquid, we will see what will happen. So the sodium carbonate that was produced from the first reaction will also be reconverted in the second reaction. So taking this, it will also convert with more carbon dioxide that was excess, as well as water, which will produce the sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is also known as the baking soda. As this reaction occurs, it will be automatically dissolved in the liquid that is in the tank, and you will not get any of the powder, which is baking soda. So it will be a harmless substance that is passed through, and yeah, that is what the carbon dioxide converter is going to do.
So now that all of the pink color is gone, it shows that the solution is now neutralized. So this is the reaction that will be occurring in the car.
After seeing that experiment, please welcome Dr. Moore and Dr. Banks to answer a few questions about the carbon dioxide converter.
Amanda. So this invention was first brought up when Dr. Banks mentioned that the majority of the fossil fuels emitted that were harmful to the environment was carbon dioxide. Our idea is to take the majority of this harmful chemical, which is emitted from vehicles, and to transform it into a harmless substance.
In our case, we took sodium hydroxide in a tank, and as the carbon dioxide from the exhaust passed through the tank, it transformed into a sodium carbonate and water. While this happens, there is also a second reaction that occurs. The sodium carbonate that reacts with the excess carbon and the water, it finally produces sodium bicarbonate, which is also known as baking soda.
Mentioned in this tank, it is like gasoline. It will be extremely effective, but once the sodium hydroxide is completely used up, it will have to be refueled. We want to combine gas stations like Esso and Shell for a refueling station that is available directly when you fill up your gas tank. In other words, these new inventions would have to be installed from vehicle manufacturers to ensure that it is installed properly and to make it an easier alternative.
Wow, that is really cool. How do you guys wish to expand their production and make it the next big thing?
Well, after Canada's recent commitment at the Paris Conference to combating climate change, we want to contact the government and propose an offering, a potential solution to convince that as us Canadians, we can and want to do better.
That is perfectly said. One last question. Is there anything you guys plan next for the future?
We had a couple things in mind. We also want to invent a similar device that helps with the emission of carbon dioxide, but instead of attaching it to vehicles, to prevent the emission through heating. So potentially to make the biggest difference with carbon emission is to destroy a majority altogether and convert it into something that is harmless.
That is basically it. Thank you, Dr. Moore and Dr. Banks, for coming today.
And thank you for having us.
And that concludes today's news discussion on global warming. I am Amanda Valier, and thank you for tuning in to KMA News. Have a great night.